If you haven't seen the news yet, Steven Yeun's casting as the Sentry in Marvel's Thunderbolts has now been confirmed by none other than Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead and Invincible. This happened in a live stream he did with David Finch, the comic book artist. And this is good news for Steven Yeun, but it's bad news for Sentry fans and anyone who cares about fidelity to the source material. I like Steven Yeun as an actor, and in fact, I think he would be perfect for a live-action Mark Grayson if they did an Invincible film or a TV series, but he's not the Sentry. You can see very easily the differences between the two in this picture. One looks like Thor, basically, and the other is a scrawny little Asian dude. Even if Steven Yeun got as buff as humanly possible, he would still be smaller than another guy who's a few inches taller than him. I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand, I just think the reasons are stupid. Marvel prioritizes diversity over authenticity, and Marvel believes that as long as they meet the criteria of the most superficial standards of a character, then it's fine. That audiences will just accept it. As long as you have a character that looks and resembles vaguely the same character from the comics, that works. Whatever. Which really should make more people question their motives when it comes to diversity and representation, because they don't really care. They focus on the qualities that are literally skin deep. Skin color, gender, sexual orientation. They don't care about authentically portraying the character. It's like asking your mom to buy you an Incredible Hulk action figure, and instead you get the off-brand Incredible Fella figure, which vaguely resembles the Hulk, but it's obvious even to a child that this is not the same character. It's not the same quality. And movie fans recognize the same thing. This is going to be the off-brand serial version of the Sentry, and there's no reason for it. We know from certain roles that Marvel does know how to cast a character correctly. They're just choosing not to for stupid reasons. Similarly, it's now been nearly confirmed that Pedro Pascal is going to be playing Reed Richards in the MCU. Now, this isn't 100% confirmed. I do believe they still need to work out some scheduling conflicts with him over the next few years. But if you're wondering how Pedro Pascal ended up being the leader in the running for this character, again, it has to do with diversity. This article by Jeff Snyder, who, in my opinion, is a fairly reputable source when it comes to leaks and rumors, goes over the casting for the Fantastic Four, at least as it is known right now. We have Vanessa Kirby playing Sue Storm. There's Joseph Quinn playing the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach, pretty sure I butchered that name, playing the Thing. With Joseph Quinn, I haven't seen any of his work, but he looks young enough to play Johnny Storm. As long as they dye his hair blonde, I'll be okay with it. The Thing actor, I kind of wish they picked someone a little more like less nerdy looking, more like a jock, like the actor who plays Jack Reacher. I can't remember his name, but he would be a perfect Ben Grimm, because Ben Grimm, even before he became a pile of rocks, was a meathead. Like he was always the bruiser of the team, and this actor just doesn't look like that. But Vanessa Kirby is perfect. I've seen her in a couple things. She's a fairly good actress. But let's talk about Pedro Pascal. So in the running for the character of Reed Richards, you had actors like Jake Gyllenhaal, which is somewhat odd because he was already in the MCU as Mysterio. You also had Adam Driver. And supposedly, some of these actors didn't get the job because they either wanted too much money or they weren't happy with the fact that Sue Storm was going to be the lead of the film, which I'll talk about in a minute. But additionally, Kevin Feige was worried that the cast was too white, and he decided that Reed Richards should be the diverse member of the Fantastic Four. Now, in terms of Pedro Pascal, my issue isn't so much his race, because he can pass as a white guy. That doesn't bug me so much. It's his age. He doesn't necessarily look 48, but the problem is that the Fantastic Four aren't even in the MCU yet, and Disney is going to want them to be there for around 10 years. I mean, they're a huge property. They may not have done so well in the live action medium, but in the comics, they've always been big. I mean, they are the first family. They are the first team of Marvel Comics as we know it. So not getting 3 or even 4 movies out of these actors seems like it'd be somewhat of a loss for both the audience and Marvel. Because who wants to see a recasted Reed Richards 3 movies in to the Fantastic Four? Now, I also think Pedro Pascal is just a safe choice. I mean, I've seen some of his work. I know some people like him because of The Mandalorian and The Last of Us. I don't think he's a terrible choice, although to be honest, I'm not sure he can play a believable Reed Richards unless the writers dramatically alter his character. Yeah, I think he's just the safe choice for Disney. I think he's not going to be the exciting choice, especially in the way that Kevin Feige thinks. But let's talk about the Sue Storm leading the Fantastic Four. I think that's another stupid decision because this is the first film. It's going to set the tone for the Fantastic Four for the rest of the MCU. Now, this doesn't have to be an origin film, but it's still important to have the audience know the dynamics of the team. Reed Richards is the leader of the Fantastic Four. Not just that, but he was the catalyst. Without him, there wouldn't be a team. He was the guy who wanted to go into space. Ben Grimm joined because he promised to fly the first rocket that Reed Richards built. Sue Storm went along because she was Reed's girlfriend and she wanted to be with him. And then Johnny Storm just tagged along with his sister. Similarly, Captain America has been the de facto leader of the Avengers for decades. And in the first Avengers film, he was the first guy to take on Loki. And during the Battle of New York, he was commanding the Avengers already. And that set the tone for the Avengers going forward. Even in Avengers Endgame, Captain America was the last man standing against Thanos. You need to set a similar tone for the Fantastic Four if you want them to be a successful franchise. I don't know what comics they're looking at as a template for this film, or if they're looking at any comics, but I think having Sue Storm be the lead is a mistake. Just as having Ben Grimm or Johnny Storm being the lead would be a mistake. It should always be Reed. Now, if you were doing a 10-season Fantastic Four series, sure, you could have plenty of episodes where Sue Storm is the lead. The problem is that these are going to be feature films. You're going to probably get a trilogy of Fantastic Four, and most people aren't going to care about a film led by Sue Storm or Ben Grimm or Johnny Storm. They just aren't, because people know who the Fantastic Four are. They know the dynamics of the team. There's no meaningful reason for this change, and I don't think it's going to go over well. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. Thanks for watching.